Welcome to today's Studio Armor review. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you enjoy the videos that I'm putting out here, especially with these Exodites. Today I'm going to cover the Independent Clans. Essentially, these are what would be Dark Eldar Scourges, but I call them gliders. There's a slight difference there, and I've made a few changes. I won't go into all the how-to. However, as you can see up front, there's two different versions here, or two different color schemes. I have, there we go. What I decided to do was figure out a way, how could I get the Scourges within this? I needed a way to get some good anti-tank, reliable anti-tank weaponry in my lists. But for the life of me, I could not. There was no way I could write this story right. Then I was I'm playing around with rereading ElfQuest again, and there it was. Now, granted, the gliders, where I got the name, didn't have in ElfQuest didn't have wings, but there was a concept in there that just exploded into two different units. I'll cover Dukes later, but in the story, Winnowill has the ability to shape flesh, and one of her fellow gliders, Tildak, wants to actually have wings and be more like a bird, and she does that for him. It's rather painful, but it happens. And that was the idea. That's how I could make this happen. Again, the Independent Clans, they're from a time they left too late, if you will. So they experienced some of the excesses. Some of their passions have been flared up a little bit. When they got to Lorien, settled near some of the coastal cliff areas and the forest, they saw the birds and they wanted to be like them. And there were some, few among them, who could actually grant them that particular wish. And so the gliders are a strange mutation of the Eldar Exodites. Seeing the grace and freedom of the Lorien birds in flight, some of the Exodites of the Stormblades clan came to envy the birds and desire to be like them. So it became so strong that it actually manifested itself as an obsession in them, resulting in them going to seeking out a Duke who could actually transform his body to enable him to fly, basically giving him wings, actual feathered wings. And that was my way to get these Scourges to work within the concept here. So some of the Eldar are going to, some of these gliders are going to carry, I'm going to have those Haywire blasters, definitely. I've got 4 on the right hand side. The rust and charcoal colored wings are right now the ones that have the heavy weapons, and the ones with the more striped light colored wings, they generally have what would be the normal the shard carbine. Now, because these Exodites have chosen to go with the more modern, if you will, Eldarish weapons, it made sense that theme, that desire to use the weapons of the Eldar, would flow through the others. So my rust and charcoal wings will actually continue to use the shard carbine. However, when it comes to these striped light buff colored wings, these gliders are actually going to use some of the more Exodite weapons. So you can see this one is the equivalent of an Exar. He's actually the glider count, and he is carrying the power lance along with the I guess it's called the power lance, but and along with the handbow, which is the the splinter pistol equivalent. So, but most of them will be like this. Most of them are going to be using the bow. Again, 18-inch range weapon, so it's longer than 12, fits in with the bow, and it took nothing. It was the Glade Guard Elf Army kits from Warhammer actually match up very well with the Scourge kits. So just a matter of taking the arms, and there you go. Now, to explain the special armor they use, the ghost plate armor, it's 4 up. Well, that's nothing. The dragon armor can easily be embellished to make it stronger than the 5+, so it's easy to 4+. But how do you get the invuln save? Well, combat shields and Space Marines are a 6 up invuln, so all of these gliders have a shield. Now, I have not actually painted the shield in all cases because I'm still trying to figure out the best way to color those shields. I want them to stand out without being too gaudy. Again, trying to balance a little bit of the Exodite earth tones with their clan colors to try to make them a little bit more distinct. Now, I am actually in the process of getting some more scourge. I want to have a total of 12 scourge with the Haywire blasters. I want to be able to put down 3 full Haywire blaster equipped scourge units, and I've got all these others with the bows, Exodite bows, and shard carbines as filler, as ablative wounds. So I've got a couple more models still in the queue. I'm waiting to get more parts for the Haywire blaster, and I will show you. Let's see, which one is it? There it is. Take a look at these two together. Okay. Now, these models here, okay, they're both equipped with the Haywire blaster. However, this model is the standard Haywire blaster parts. Okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. The weapon to the left is actually one of the other blasters. I honestly forget which one I used off the hand right now, but you can see I basically cut the barrel off the Haywire blaster that would come in the Chronos kit and Chronos Totalis kit. Now, because that comes with 2, I just bought a bit off of eBay and put it on here. It's very hard to tell the difference when they're down on the tabletop because the back of the gun is identical almost, even with the little flask underneath this bulbous area. It's on both of them, and yet it's very, very, very convincing. So again, I'm planning on having all these units because I do want to have some very dependable anti-tank. Now, tactics for these are extremely important because when you look at a Scourge, go after the MSU approach, like you'll see in Mini Wargaming, for example. It's a 5-man squad with 4 Haywire blasters. It doesn't take much to take those out, and now you lose your anti-tank capabilities. Now, worse is if you deep strike them in, they're all clustered together, and even a small blast that hits catches all of them. So it doesn't take much to knock these guys out. The way I plan on, and I have been using these, is I will either, if I'm going to deep strike them, I will deep strike them with a full 10-man squad, so that the 4 Haywire blasters are centered around the middle of the unit, and the likely direction of incoming fire, that's where I put the regular bow-armed scourges, gliders. Now, if I'm worried about barrage weapons, well, then I'll mix it up a little bit so that the Haywires are scattered. So that way, it's very hard for the opponent to kill off all 4. You want to make sure you keep as many around as long as possible, because in one turn, these 4 guys will almost assuredly take out any one vehicle. Granted, there's a slim chance that on the actual damage part that they won't, but still, we're looking at hitting on 3s. You got 4 shots. You're going to hit usually you're going to hit 3 times. Of those 3 times, most of them are going to take off a hull point. Yeah, you might roll a 1, but then that's oops. Now, if you have 3 of these, that's 3 separate units that will have to take damage in order for the opponent to completely eliminate your anti-tank weaponry. So they aren't that expensive. overall, if you think of it, they are 16 points a piece, but when you start with 80 points per unit, just to start 5-man squad, 160 points, that's not too unreasonable for being able to take out a tank, one vehicle per turn. That is pretty potent. Now, what I like to do, instead of dropping them in, sometimes through deep strike, I will use a smaller unit and hide them behind line of sight obstructing terrain, large rocks, large buildings, things like that. They can move forward 12 inches, ignoring terrain. That's what jump infantry can do. But they have a 24-inch weapon, so you don't even need to get close. And they don't care about armor facing. So it's very easy to keep them concealed until it's time to pop out and shoot. And that's what you're going to want to do. But coordinate that fire from multiple units so that you're able to deal out deal out damage to multiple vehicles at a single time. If you're lucky, you'll damage them enough where the return fire, and especially the way you may have positioned those units behind cover or in cover, the enemy will not be able to whittle them down as quickly, and you'll be able to take out a couple more tanks the next turn. And three turns in, you may have taken out 6 of the enemy tanks. That's huge. Okay. I don't know I can't think of a better unit in all of Warhammer 40K that can be that effective that consistently than the Scourge. In my case, the gliders. All right, so just want to give you a little background of where I came up with the idea, how I decided to model them, and how I intend to use them. Now, I hope you enjoyed this. Give me a little shout down below. Let me know what you think. If you do use scourges, or if you defend against them, or how you deal with them. But let me know. I'll be glad to learn some of the other ins and outs. All right. See you in the next Studio Army review. Thank you very much. Bye.